Hello, today let's listen to the story of Hamlet by William Shakespeare. Hamlet, the prince who spoke to a ghost and destroyed a kingdom, his whole family, and himself. Imagine this, it is midnight in Denmark. The wind is freezing, the gods are trembling, and suddenly a ghost appears. Not just any ghost, the ghost of the dead king. This is the beginning of Hamlet, one of the darkest, most thrilling revenge stories ever written by William Shakespeare. Prince Hamlet is already heartbroken because his father, the King of Denmark, has recently died. But what shocks him even more is that his mother, Queen Gertrude, marries his paternal uncle, Claudius, only weeks later. Yes, his own uncle becomes the new king now. Hamlet feels disgusted, betrayed, and furious. Then, one night, Hamlet meets the ghost of his dead father, and the ghost reveals a horrifying secret. He says, I was murdered not by an enemy, not by a stranger, but by Claudius, Hamlet's own uncle and the ghost's own brother. The ghost says Claudius poured poison into his ear while he was sleeping and stole both his crown and his queen. Now, Hamlet wants to avenge his father's murder. But there is one problem. He does not know whether the ghost is truly his father or a demon trying to trick him. So Hamlet decides to pretend to be mad while secretly searching for the truth. And this is where the story becomes dangerous. Hamlet starts behaving strangely. He laughs at the wrong moments. He speaks in riddles. He insults the royal court. He terrifies everyone around him. Meanwhile, a young woman named Ophelia truly loves Hamlet. But Hamlet pushes her away cruelly because his mind is drowning in anger, suspicion, and revenge. Then comes one of the most famous moments in all of literature. Hamlet stands alone and asks, to be or not to be? That is the question. In other words, is life worth living? Or is death easier than suffering? The first line and the most famous of the soliloquy raises the overarching question, to be or not to be, that is, to live or to die. Interestingly, Hamlet poses this as a question for all of humanity rather than for only himself. He begins by asking whether it is better to passively put up with his life's pains or actively end it via suicide. This single speech made Hamlet one of the most famous characters ever created. But Hamlet still needs proof that Claudius is guilty. So he comes up with a brilliant plan. He invites actors to perform a play showing a king being poisoned exactly the same way the ghost described. And while Claudius watches, he suddenly panics and storms out. That's all the proof Hamlet needs. Claudius is the murderer. Now the kingdom becomes a deadly trap. Claudius secretly plans to kill Hamlet. Hamlet accidentally kills Ophelia's father. Ophelia loses her mind with grief and later drowns. Ophelia's brothers Laertes returns, furious and hungry for revenge. And finally, everything explodes in one final bloody duel. Laertes fights Hamlet with a poisoned sword. Claudius prepares poison wine for Hamlet. The queen accidentally drinks the poison and dies. Laertes is stabbed by his own poisoned sword. Hamlet finally kills Claudius. But it is too late. Hamlet himself is dying. And as the Prince of Denmark takes his final breath, the entire royal family lies dead around him. A kingdom destroyed by greed, betrayal, revenge, and hesitation. And that is the tragic story of Hamlet, a story that has survived for more than 400 years because it speaks to every human fear, betrayal, heartbreak, revenge, madness, and death. And perhaps the most terrifying lesson of all, sometimes thinking too much can destroy everything. Indecisive inaction is the hamartia of Hamlet, the prince. It is the tragic flaw or weakness of Hamlet. Would you take revenge for your father even if it destroyed your entire life? Think about it. Thank you so much for listening to the story of Hamlet. See you again with another story. Take care.